Alright, another unscheduled Go component lab. Working on the qmux, porting qmux to TypeScript. This is part 2, and actually I got a lot done between now and the last stream. It was really boring, so I decided not to stream it. I did a couple of things. Before I had gotten about this far in terms of porting it, I basically got some of the basic types from my Go implementation. But I actually pretty much, I think this is everything. I'm sort of not doing flow control stuff just yet. And I basically wrote it all without actually debugging it or writing any tests or anything. As well as, while at the same time adapting it to the async await style. Instead of doing kind of a traditional callback API, since async await is pretty much everywhere now, and it lets me follow the Go API a little bit closer. One of the things though that, and it's kind of nice that I don't have to, because it's single threaded, I don't have to worry about as much like mutexes and creating special data structures for thread safety, but there were parts of this that required something like a Go channel, and so I looked around. I think I actually briefly went and tried thinking through transpiling the Go implementation JavaScript, and decided against it. Let's see, where is it that I use? I basically searched for JavaScript Go channels. I found this, which is actually now at GitLab. There's a couple of things like this, but this was kind of the nicest one that wasn't anything more than a channel. I think even this is maybe a little bit big, but it lets you do kind of push into a channel, close a channel, shift out of a channel, and it works with async await. And so that was enough to basically mirror the implementation from Go, and it was a little bit simpler, like I said, but the main thing I was doing while writing this was making sure it compiles, and so that's helpful. So at least I know that from a type standpoint and everything, it works. So now we just have to run it and debug it. And another thing I did was I actually, and this was a lot simpler, I did implement the qRPC layer above, which is significantly simpler than tmux, even though qmux is much simpler than a lot of multiplexing. You know, this is like less than 150 lines. I didn't implement the server yet, but since a client can serve stuff, I mean, that's sort of, it just means that you can't listen. Since I'm going to use this in the browser, I don't think that makes a ton of sense anyway. For Node or something, it might. But this helped kind of, I actually programmed to an interface and to see what would work to make this interface work, and that led me to a variation of the interface that I was going for with qmux. So that actually was very helpful to do that higher level. So at this point, we just need to try it out somehow. I need to write this decode, and then I need to that's the only thing that's left. I need to write this decode, and and then create a WebSocket implementation that follows this interface. It looks like I don't implement session. I don't know how important this is, but I'll do it. So let's do this decode. It's the opposite of encode, which is doing the binary. Taking our objects and putting them into an array buffer in the specs format. So here we need to read the array buffer, which is easy enough. I guess I could do this. And then for every message, type. In fact, I guess I need to make a data view for them all too. Yeah, I'll just leave it here because I'm going to do this. Yeah. I didn't make them classes, I made them interfaces, so. I guess I can do this. And that works. Perfect. All right, so we'll do that. I don't think it's very common to do this kind of, to use data views, and I guess that's not true. These days, people do everything in JavaScript. And we'll need to do an empty value here for now for it to actually compile, which is a little, well, unless we do this. I've never done any of this stuff before. I don't even really use TypeScript. But using all this data view stuff is pretty new to me. Converting array buffers to typed arrays and data views. I think I can slice, begin, and do you think slice gives you the rest if you don't specify end? From begin to the end. So we start at 9, I guess. This stuff is not all that bad. I feel like I remember this kind of stuff being daunting, but I don't know. Binary encoding, I guess. Do you think TypeScript's added support for that final trailing comma? I like that languages are starting to all do that. Python was the first one to do that I recall. It seems to be okay with it, so. It's just very helpful. right. So I'm annoyed that this library has some dependencies. I think just one. But let's make a node thing and see if we can at least import it. I guess I'm not actually maybe I'm not exporting stuff in here yet. What do I want to export? That's about it. Let's see what happens if I do that. Seems to be okay. So I need to do some WebSocket stuff. What was the WebSocket library I always use for Node? I'm not sure it's this one. Let's see. Node.js WebSocket. So I need to wrap its connection. Divided into frames and sent over the socket. I guess a WebSocket frame. So JavaScript land. And I need to turn this into something that works like this. I guess close right is necessary. I don't think we have a close right on here though. I don't think we actually need that though. Is this used? I mean, our RPC library doesn't use this, but I guess I will implement it. And at this point, I feel like, I don't know. See, I feel like making an object that just has some functions that call. You know? Just be like, here's receive. It's a function. Here's send. So close returns a promise. So we can call close, and then do we get some kind of confirmation, maybe an event? I guess we could use this. Do they have once? How do they implement their events? I guess they're using the node event emitter, so I'm sure I can say once. Oh, I need to give a code. I think it should default, right? Whatever. So I guess the idea is we need to return a promise. So I don't fully understand all this promise shit. I'm assuming this is run immediately, right? Something like this, maybe. That would do undefined, so that should be fine. All right, send is easy. I don't know what we actually take most of the time. Encode, encode, encode. That one's a uint 8 array. Let's see, we ended up returning an array buffer. So, how about this? Send packet buffer. And then say, what's your problem? First time it's said that. And I think for the most part we're just I don't think this thing's gonna return bytes written. Callback will be added as a listener to the write operation over the socket. As a once, so we get a write. Received. Okay, so it's a one-off. So no specific event. It's just going to do that callback when it's done. And what? That's it? I guess I'll just string buffer is callback doesn't say what it was written. I guess I'm gonna have to make up the fact of how much it wrote. JavaScript is so weird because it's like data. What is data? Oh, I don't know. They're not very specific about it. Unless you're using TypeScript, which luckily is getting more popular, but I guess we could trust that it'll know what to do with this. We'll just return the length, I guess. Sure, it wrote that. I mean, assuming this is gonna maybe give us an error or something, but it doesn't say. Maybe this is not the library I should be using, but yes, that. So, maybe this is a net socket. It said send, not write. Right? Socket right. Callback. I guess. Okay, encoding is optional. That's it. It just callback as a function. No, like. Returns true if the entire data was flushed successfully. Returns false. The data is finally written out. This is some bullshit. Oh, okay, well, so. I guess I don't know what to do for reject. Maybe if this returns false. Does it even propagate the return value? Return. Okay, good. All right, so that was supposed to be the easy one. This one's a little different. So this one, we create a promise. Actually, this might be really easy when we get binary data. In stream. Yeah, something like this. Buffer, huh? What if we were to say it's a uint 8 array? If new data. Can you do this on a uint? Oh god, that's not gonna work. I don't know. Can I use that buffer? Buffer concat. Not even. Oh, this is a node buffer. Looks like buffer deprecated. Okay. So how do I so let's say I have a buffer. Can I then get it as something else? Oh, well, there you go. So we can make it a buffer, that's fine. So we'll just put all this in a new promise. Maybe InStream has an error that we could use. Stream. Unreadable. Error. Have they added a promise interface to the stream stuff? That'd be cool. They did for file IO. API for stream implementers. Blah. Blah. Why? I don't know. There was just an error. But, that should be good. So let's set up a server. Doesn't do any of this. And create a session, qmux session. We can just see if this does anything. I guess we want to make something to connect to it. Is there an example? No. I suppose it's passing the connection on that. Oh, God. Can I... It says it's optional, so I guess I can just do... I just want to see that we got here. It's not a session, it's not a constructor or a function. What is it then? What is it? Seems like a constructor, assuming it was exported. Did I not? Maybe I didn't. Uh-oh. Did I change something? Send. I see. How does the array buffer not have length, by the way? Byte length? Okay. Maybe it'll work now. It connected. Without a catch block or rejecting a promise which is not handled by with catch. Cool, we had to figure out what this is in our TypeScript. Channels. So we didn't set this up? I guess not. So far, so good. Gosh. And we can do async stuff in Node, right? Okay. So let's try opening a channel. Oh, we have to do a ooh. Now we're getting into the serious shit. It's not a function. I mean, I was led to believe it was. The documentation for this bullshit said call it as a function, but I did think that was weird. It looks like a function. Is it not exported or? Okay. Freeze is doing what? I'm assuming it's just going to return channel. So is it because it's not a like its default export? How would we get this in TypeScript? Yeah, I feel you. But okay. I think that's what I was doing, though. But I guess I can't. If I don't want to do brackets, how do I rename it? Import entire module into a single variable. That's probably what I need to do. Ooh. Now we're getting somewhere interesting. Doesn't like my code. Wait, what? Oh, it looks a lot like the TypeScript. Offset is outside the bounds of the data view. Well, that's not true. We made it an array buffer of 12. So nine, 10, 11, 12. Zero. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. Zero. I could have made that mistake. So this is 4, and that'd be 5. This is 8, so that'd be 9. Okay. Yeah. 4. And 4 is 8, and then 9. So, okay, so maybe that was just the only one. Oops, I was editing the JavaScript. Did I see some squigglies? Okay. I mean, it's a function, but it seemed to compile before just fine. I guess it just doesn't care. Data should be either a string or a buffer. So it's complaining that what we send in here is not a buffer. We send what? An array buffer. Oh my God. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? Would they say no? What can we do? We can, should be able to do that. It's not a buffer instance. Could we do buffer from? Maybe? It's interesting that this isn't even in our stack, right? I guess. That shouldn't be actually doing the connection directly. That should be our wrapper. Connection send and code. So I mean, if we replace this with a string, this should go away, right? Because it is this code path, right? How is this not? How is that? What is going on? Who says? How is it getting, how is this session? Wait, I'm not wrapping it. I'm not wrapping it, am I? Yeah. The hell was I thinking? Not even using this function. It says so right there. You guys didn't even tell me. So, what was I trying first? This. Oh no. Do we not set up incoming? I guess we don't, do we? We use it, but we don't set it up. It doesn't. How is that possible? Of undefined. You serious? So this loop starts up. And the connection would be there already. And it's pointing to what was passed into the session. And we wrapped it. Yeah, so it is getting here. But we had a connection, clearly. Does it have something to do with it being like an async thing? Connection close. I mean, we don't do any async stuff here. I mean, we don't do any awaits. Running out of time. Can I read property close of undefined? How is this possible? So you're saying if I did, it would do nothing, or undefined? Why does it become undefined? Is close called? This would only show up if something called close. It must be if the other end closed, why would it set the how could it set that connection undefined? I don't think it could. And what's calling close basically immediately? I wanted a stack trace, but do I have to do like a throw exception or something? I mean, I guess that helped. It is. Okay. Maybe, I think that's not supposed to happen. When we get a, this. Channel close. And I think it's doing something it's not supposed to. Handle. Wait. Who's calling what, where? This is... Uh-huh. What is this? It's closing because there's an exception. Let's see what that was, because invalid channel. I'm getting a data packet, let's see, console, this channels. Oops. Really? Okay, well. Take that. Did I happen to like not implement add and remove? Yeah, okay. Oops. Channels. No, push. It's not Python. Okay. Interesting. What's it doing? God damn it, it's one. No errors, but it seems to have gotten into some kind of deadlock. It's not even... It's not even connecting. seems weird to me. How is it not? I mean, it's single threaded. It could be getting stuck in a loop somewhere, but the only loop is one that yields, or, you know, it awaits, so I don't know. You can see if this, oh, I can't do this. One way to see if it can't get that is if it doesn't get here. It does get there. Okay, so it's maybe not the loop. It's session open. What I don't understand though, if it got there, then this had to have connected. So why the fuck doesn't this show up? Who is connecting to it? Yeah, we got a connection. All right, so if we don't do this, which we won't say that then, will it connect? It connects. TC Dev, how's it going? Welcome back. I don't really plan to do a ton of it, so, but I'll keep that in mind. I mean, unless it's just like, I'm guessing. And then what? Yeah, that's easy enough. Thank you. It helps a little. So as soon as I do this, so there's something about our open path. And I guess this is the first point where we start using this channel library that I've never used, so I don't know if it's... Yeah, I'm not going to use socket.io. The problem is I got some TypeScript, so NodeMon only helps I don't know if it didn't compile because of that error. Or if that was a warning, because for some reason TypeScript will say error when it means warning sometimes. I guess I can get rid of the JavaScript and see what it does. Okay, so, oh, see, it produced JavaScript. Okay, so it could just be here. It's like, oh, I don't know how to... Okay, so then what? It can't be setting up channels. Maybe this. This is new code that I wrote. Okay, I somehow made... Cool, the code I just wrote is somehow terrible. Like I can imagine, because I'm changing, I'm not appending to it though. I guess we can find out if this is it. Wait. What? It can't get past this push? Why would that ever be the case? You know what channels is? Channels is an array. Is TypeScript doing something nutty? How would that ever block anything? This is nutso. I mean, I guess to confirm, I could just comment this out, right? Double confirm. Yeah. What is happening? Array push blocking. Alright, that has nothing to do with an array. I feel like that's kind of the obvious answer. But what is happening here? Jesus. Hey, what does my channel look like? Oops. Doesn't want to say. Is it a fixed size or something? Can you do that? I mean, it's being initialized as a regular empty array. Are you guys finding this as nuts as I am? Doesn't work. Yeah, that's... Get out of here. This is fucking bizarro. It's almost 1:30. Got other shit to do. Get there. Okay, is there some crazy scoping thing going on? This is my class channel. Okay, what if, what about that? That's fine. So then what about false? TypeScript won't like it, maybe. But what if we do... Okay, wait a minute, wait a minute. So you can push false. Was it this? Was it some kind of like type thing? No. It just really doesn't want to push this connection. Or this channel. What the fuck is wrong with this channel? It's not something like because as a reference to its containing object or something like that. That couldn't be it, right? Okay. Because nobody's seen this before? Are you serious? Did I try putting... I did, right? I tried putting it into a different array. Okay, it gets... on, this is not happening, right? Yeah, it's not happening. You guys. Tell me how I can fix this. I don't even know where to look. And I can push other stuff in there, right? I can push like, oh fuck it, I'll push this in there. And it fucking works. No, Topo Chico does not fix. What is it about this combination of this object and this array? How does that ever matter? I can't believe this. I've seen some fucked up shit before, but this is... Yeah, who donates? Array should be non-blocking. Why the hell would any array operation block? Yeah, for each is blocking. Of course it's blocking. It's a loop. This isn't the problem. I'm not even... This doesn't even matter. I'm not even doing this. We are using async. Who knows how the fuck shit goes wrong in here? This is not what I'm doing either. I'm not doing a map. Just doing a push. killing me. All right, what other what else can we do? Concat. There's a copy of them. That could be cool. This is different. We're not actually creating a new array. This could work. For some reason, this array is... Nope. That didn't fucking work. Okay. So what if we sneak it in? God damn it! This makes absolutely no fucking sense. JavaScript, I can, I could, channels. What if I have channels 2? And I don't set it. Channels 2. And it's not gonna like this because I'm still trying to concatenate. No? Okay, so all right, well, how do we get this to also not work? Right? we initialize it here, is it gonna not want to work? None of this makes sense to me. I know JavaScript enough to know this doesn't make any sense. And I didn't see that TypeScript is doing anything in particular. Like, this is just... Alright, we know this is fine. But if we try and concatenate with itself, okay. So what you're saying is I could just channels to push channel. Okay, so is it the name? Channels? Okay. Wait. How the... No. No, that can't be. There's possible... I mean, this thing is called... they're in there, they have something called channels, and we have to import everything, but we import it as a namespace. So there's no way... if as long as we're doing this, that anything from this namespace is getting in here, but that when you call push on the channel that you create here, it can block. I have no idea how it would be getting confused, that reference. I have no idea how that would be possible. But if we can just call it something else, then that particular name, the only other thing that has that name is in this other package. Maybe not channels. Let's see, do they do anything interesting? Like, okay, no. So I don't know. I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. That because it was called channels. Oh no, that's not the issue. You fucking serious? Wait. It was working until I renamed stuff. Is it this? Okay. What the fuck? This is called in an async. Do we have thread safety now because of this? Like, this shouldn't... Thread safe. Well, because I know how they did this was with an event loop and a reactor pattern, but like if they're doing something crazy, are you fucking kidding me? Async functions are actually in a different thread? And so this is some kind of... Well then, okay, so... Fucking array. God. God, you're a step in the wrong direction. Is like nobody doing this? Is nobody using async await and running into this kind of problem? They're doing some fucking weird ass shit. How am I the only one that's run into something like this? And how the fuck do I do anything about it? So I can rename it back to channels. Even be an array. I don't know, what if we wrap it? Just kind of shots in the dark here, because I have no idea how this shit works. Nobody's talking about anything, why this would happen. So that's not gonna work. Let's see, could I do it, maybe it really doesn't like doing this. We could do it in a set interval, something stupid. Every 20 milliseconds. Of course, now this has to be an async thing. Continue. Now let's return. All right. What is it? So you're saying on op undefined. How the fuck is... This isn't supposed to return anything until there's something fucking there. Where is it? Where's fucking read packet? I didn't implement read packet. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god! I'm done. I'm done. I'm out of time. I'm an hour over time. This is the worst stream ever. I'm just returning an empty buffer. Why didn't I mark this as to do? No wonder it doesn't work as a loop. It's constantly doing a lookup. Yeah, I guess you're just bad luck. That's not it. I don't know. You probably just tune in enough. Okay, well, I know how to fix it, but man, I'm angry, so I do not want to work on this now. I have to work on other stuff anyway. Fuck, and I'm too late for my script to work because I'm past 2 o'clock. All right. I guess I figured it out. I'll be back in a bit to work on the game. A quick bit. So no recap, because we didn't really do a lot. We implemented this function. We implemented some other missing functions, and got things nearly working, except for this one thing that I forgot to implement, which was causing this loop to go really fast and causing this other function to block. That's crazy. I've never seen that before. If you're looking up an array in a loop, you cannot push to it. I guess it makes sense, right? Well, it's supposed to be single-threaded. But the async stuff, I don't know. If the async stuff is actually running async functions in another thread, then I'm sure the runtime is actually doing some kind of locking, and then that would, of course, cause this problem. But nobody's said that anywhere. I can't find anything about that. So I guess we learned something new. And I know how to fix the problem. All right. See you in a bit.